People don't give a fuck what you say. A lot of people do not understand this. They care about what you do. All of a sudden, you second guess so many obstacles in my path.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say
you don't think that you gonna make
it
it.
seems like there's something standing in my way. Keep relying on
It
tomorrow.
could change the entire trajectory of what your life is. You the baseline. The moment that they see you not display the things that you preach, it don't fucking matter. You feel me?
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Demetrius Thigpen, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Meech Speaks podcast. Now, before we get started with this podcast, don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or even YouTube, and leave this podcast an honest review, because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Now, coming into this Monday morning, we're doing an episode on a topic that I've been wanting to talk about all week. I ain't even about to lie to you. I've been wanting to talk about this all week, man, but I just never got a chance to get around to it. So I needless to say, man, like I've been wanting to get to this for a while because it's been all up and down my feed. Like whether I go on TikTok, whether I go on YouTube, whether I go on Facebook, no matter where I go, even if I'm on Instagram, I'm going to see this. And as you all know, Camel Talk failed his AFT. Now, Camel Talk was a previous guest on this show. I've also had the luxury to talk to this man on the phone. Good dude, you feel me? And rather than just go into what it was, let's just go ahead and just do me a favor and roll the clip.
So full transparency, I failed my run. I failed about a lot too, like a minute and damn near 2 minutes. And no excuses, nobody to blame. I can't blame the weather, I can't blame the time, I can't blame my back hurting, I can't blame my legs. All I can blame is myself. I'll allow the job, I prioritize the job over my fitness. I just let myself go. And that's just what it is, man. And I'm only being transparent, man, because these are the type of things that y'all got to see. Y'all got to be able to see that there are senior leaders that fail sometimes. There are senior leaders that slack and just, fail. That's what it is. So now the same way a specialist or a private got to live with that failure, I got to live with that failure. I got to put that flag in the system. I got to do all these things, and I got to get back on my shit. So I'm just showing y'all that this is the reality, man. Everything ain't a success. Sometimes shit just is what it is, man. So I needed to see this so that that fire could be put back on my ass so I could see, like, boy, you got to prioritize you before the job. The job gonna be there, but them scores and all that type of stuff, man, that's a burden on you. For real, that is a ugly scar to wear, but sometimes you got to wear it, man. So yeah, for all of y'all out there, man, life ain't perfect. You ain't always gonna win, but you got to live with it, adjust, push forward.
So first things first, man, shout out to Camel Talk for even putting that out there. And I know a lot of people are like this, were we applauding him for failing and making a video about it? No, I'm applauding the fact that he did the AFT. He took it, whether he would have passed or failed. And now that he failed, he's even letting us know that he failed. Because right now, let's just call a spade a spade. It's some people out there, let me rephrase that, it's some senior leadership right now that wouldn't have even taken a PFT. It's some senior leadership right now that ain't ran a PFT, CFT since they was a fucking sergeant. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just call a spade, man, and just say that it's somebody right now, man, that they got a Dream Marine filling that in for them. They got somebody right now that's, hey brother, can you put my scores in the system for me? You know how many damn gentlemen hookups I've seen on a regular basis or heard about? So I applaud him for actually doing it, especially at his rank, especially at his age. I applaud him for still trying to do the standard. You feel me? Still trying to do the standard. Now, I will say, Camel Talk later on made another video 2 weeks later that he passed his AFT. He passed it. And I really want to just say this, man, because of the simple fact that I remember when y'all was coming for me and y'all was all upset because I said that it does matter about your physical appearance. It does matter about physical fitness over the job. And I don't know who need to hear this, man, but nobody gives a fuck how good at your job if you're going to be failing your AFT, PFT, CFT, or whatever fitness test your branch of service calls. Nobody gives a fuck how good you are at the job. So we can never, man, and I don't know, man, I can't stress this enough. The job will never be more important than your physical health. The job will never be more important than your mental health. The job, man, I'm telling you right now, man, the job, man, like it ain't more important than your family. It ain't more important. Because here's the thing that a lot of people need to understand, bro, is that before you got to that shot, let me rephrase that real quick because I don't think you really hearing me. Before you even joined that branch and picked out what your job was going to be in that branch of service, that job was still there. That job was still running. So how the hell do you think that you just show up and all of a sudden you think that you about to be that fucking important? Let me rephrase that you think that the job gonna be more important than what the fuck you got going on in your life. You feel me? And I bring that up, man, and I say that so passionately because he's not the first person that I have seen and heard use, hey, I prioritize my job over me. He ain't the first person. I'm on recruiting duty. I've seen top tier performers come out here as studs, walk away looking like fucking Hank Hill. And once again, the standard's the standard. The standard is the standard, man. And I can't stress that enough, man, because of the simple fact that nobody gives a fuck how good you are at your job. When you fall below the standard, you're going to be held accountable. Period. You see what I'm saying? When you fall below your job, man, like when you fall below the standard and you can't fall back on your job. And it's a shitty situation, man, because we want to bring value. We want to aid the mission. We want to do good. But doing good at the cost of you is not good, it's bad. So I would say that real quick. And I have to say, man, like, because a lot of people think that because I have empathy that all of a sudden I'm soft, and there ain't nothing soft about me. Y'all got to remember, I came from the Mace. You feel me? I was sending y'all favorite NCO home because he couldn't uphold the standard. So trust me when I tell you that the standard is the standard. But watching that video, right, it reminded me of Sergeant Thickpan. It reminded me of Sergeant Thickpan. And a lot of people don't know this, man, because I started creating content, I want to say back in like 2019, late 19, going into 20. But 2017, there it is right there. 2017, I was a sergeant. I had just ran probably like my second or third MAI course. I'm talking about I'm top of the world. You feel me? I'm at the top of the world. Nobody, and when I say the top of the world, nobody couldn't tell me shit. No, you couldn't tell me shit as a sergeant, man. I thought I was better than everybody. And I remember it was March, it was St. Patrick's Day. And HE mechanic, 1341 in the HE community or the engineer community. And St. Patrick's Day is a big day for us because St. Patrick was an engineer apparently. And we were doing this field meet. And in the field meet, we had the O course, right? We had the O course. And they was calling out the names for the people that were going to do the O course. And they called everybody's name, but they didn't call mine. And I was sitting back and I was saying to myself, like, how the fuck is it that y'all gonna do the O course, but y'all not gonna put the guy that teaches people how to do the O course on the O course? How the hell y'all not gonna put y'all top performer on the squad? You feel me? Like, do y'all wanna lose? That's what I was saying as a sergeant. And I remember looking at one guy and saying, hey, bro, don't even worry about it, man. I'ma just do it. You feel me? Not to mention, I put myself in front. Now, for those that don't know, once again, martial arts instructor trainer, I've done the O course. I've taught people how to do the O course. That's just my bread and butter. You feel me? That's my bread and butter. So the drill starts. I'm running through the O course. I'm going through everything, and I finally get to the ropes. I can't tell you how many times I've climbed a rope. I can't tell you how many times I've taught people how to climb a rope. Bro, this is something that is second nature for me. I grab the rope. I start climbing. I get halfway there. And I don't know, man. I think my arms locked out. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I came down. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck going on? Shake my arms out. I climb back up, get halfway there, come crashing back down again. Now I'm tripping. Now I'm fucking tripping because I'm like, bro, it's over like 300 to 400 people out here right now. And half of them are here. Not to mention my entire squad is by the O course. I've been in a leadership position since I was a corporal. I was running a squad. I was running an entire section. All my Marines, I've demanded excellence of them. And here I am right now, not able to do it. I'm trying, I'm grabbing, I'm pulling. Nothing. Next thing you know, boom, me and the other guy, we get disqualified. Everybody's like, oh, it's okay, Thickpan, it's okay. I run to my car. I I sit in my car and I get to lighting a cigarette, bro. And as I'm lighting the cigarette, I get a knock. And it's one of the MAIs that I be teaching with. And he says, hey, I'm going to let you smoke this cigarette. I'm going to let you get yourself together. But when you come back, just know all your Marines are waiting there for you. Naturally they waiting for me. I've demanded of them for how long? I told them never to quit. You don't think that my guy's not going to be waiting there for me to make sure that I'm a man of my word, that I'm going to see this through? I put that fucking cigarette out, man, and I walked over there, and sure enough, they were all there. And they were like, we ain't going anywhere, Sergeant. Go ahead and do what you got to do. And I climbed. And I climbed, bro, and I climbed, and I still would come crashing down, and I would climb again, and I came crashing down, and I climbed again, and I came crashing down. Hands blistering up, starting to bleed, and I still climbed. And I stayed there for 4 hours, and you can reach out to fucking Hearst and ask him. I stayed there to 4 hours until I was able to get up the rope. Imagine after, dog, the field meet ended at 12. I didn't get back to the office until, I want to say, probably like 4 o'clock. We was about to be done with the day. My Marines was like, we thought you went home. I said, no, I was still at the O course climbing because I had to see that through. One MAI had to stay as a witness too, to make sure that I could climb, to make sure I could. And bro, I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten that. Because of the simple fact that everybody can be good on a good day, but can you still be good on a bad day? Like everybody can be that number one guy, be the loudest, be the one up front, carry the fucking boats or whatever David Goggins says on a good day. But can you do this on a bad day? Can you still be you on a bad day? You know what I mean? Can you still show up, lead, get in the front? Can you do all of that on a bad day? Let me rephrase that. When shit's not going your way, will you fold and hide behind everybody? Or will you stay out there and continue to keep moving until you fucking pass? Can you keep doing it until you ain't got nothing left? And that's really what it is, man. So once again, hats off to Camel Talk for once, failing and still moving forward. Hats off to them. But it's a couple of things that really just wasn't sitting right with me about that. And I don't know who need to hear this, man, but we love to eat our own. You feel me? We love to just eat our own in moments like that. Like we love to just see a service member fall on their face, and instead of just helping them up and telling them, hey man, go ahead, continue to keep moving forward, we love to tear a motherfucker down, bro. We love to tear somebody down and tell them, hey, you don't deserve to be in the military. You a piece of shit. You a disgrace to the uniform. You're a disgrace to the rank. We love to tear somebody down, man. Not to mention, once again, there's a lot of hypocrites. There's a lot of hypocrites saying that, but we love to tear somebody down when they already down too. We love to tear somebody down when they already down. And that was something that didn't sit right with me when I was reading the video, when I was watching the video and I was reading the comments. You feel me? A lot of applause, but a lot of people telling him that he should just get out of the military. Disgrace to the rank. This is the problem right now with today's military. Like you've never failed before. And I don't know who need to hear this, man, but stop asking these Marines to open up to you if you're just going to use that information to tear them down. Stop asking them, man, to speak up when they need help if you just going to tear them down as soon as they speak up and need help. Stop asking these Marines to be transparent if you just gonna tear them down anyway. That's the reason why nobody will. And the thing about it, man, and I don't know who need to hear this, but the thing about it is that y'all was tearing them down, and if something would have went left, everybody would have been doing those 22 fucking push-ups. Sergeant Major literally just got on here like, 2-3 months ago, telling us that we need to be our brother's keeper, look out for each other. Here it is 3 months later, and we tearing down another service member? And I never understand, man. Do we love to do the fucking push-ups, or do we want to put an end to it? Just help me, man. Meet me in the middle. Because I never understand how it's so easy for us to tear somebody down. I never will. And it's something about that I'll never be able to get on board with. If you fail, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you to continue to keep moving forward to see if you're going to pass. I'm rooting for you. Now, just because I'm rooting for you, that don't mean that I'm going to ignore the fact that, once again, the standard is the standard. The The standard's the standard. I ain't never forgot about me not being able to climb that rope. My Marines probably have, but I never did. Because when I came back to that office, I understood that the standard was the fucking standard. I was ready to step down as a squad leader, put my ace up. I remember telling Andreas too, like, hey man, Andreas, you got this now. And it was because of my leadership. It was because I gave a fuck that my Marines wouldn't even let me. In fact, they told me, they was like, Sorry, I think you kind of over dramatic right now. I think you ODing. You feel me? I think you kind of overdoing it. It ain't that big of a deal. We not about to let you just step down because you couldn't climb a rope. But that's how deep I was, man, because I understand that the burden of leadership, the standard's the standard regardless. You feel me? And I bring that piece up, man, because yes, empathy, you know. If I didn't want to be held to that standard, then I shouldn't have raised my hand and said that I wanted to be promoted, you know. And I bring all of that up, man, and I say all of this, man, and I come into this episode with this on my heart because at the end of the day, you feel me? At the end of the day, we as a community got to do better. You feel me? We got to do better. Both on the side of, one, maintain the standard, because regardless of the situation, job ain't gonna never be that fucking important. It ain't. You know what I mean? You telling me the job more important than your family? Like, you telling me that the job more important than your marriage? You telling me that the job more important than your physical health? You got Marines literally working on injuries that they know for a fact that they need to go to medical for, but they gonna stay and once again look good for you. They still gonna perform on a fucked up leg. Motherfuckers drinking their problems away just so they can show up in the next morning because the job more important. Job ain't never more important. It ain't. But switch gears. If you are a leader, when we talk about setting the example, right? Like when we talk about setting the example, make sure that you're setting the right example. You feel me? We already talked about it and we're going to beat that into the ground about the job not being important. But at the exact same time, man, like once again, your Marines got to see you perform. You feel me? They got to see you perform. They got to see you take care of yourself. They got to see you pass, bro. Because once again, I love them to death and I applaud them for it. But you failing ain't a good, that ain't a good look. It's not. What you do afterwards and how you pass, that's going to be a good look. But understand, you shouldn't have failed to begin with. You shouldn't have let yourself get to that. But also, leadership. Come on now. Guys, come on now. During Marines seeing you tear down a senior leader online, imagine he's sitting next to you. He got some shit going on. You think he about to open up to you? And I think we need to really just bring that up, man. Like, y'all got to really pay attention to the shit that y'all are doing and realize that you're still being watched. You know what I mean? Like the same way that you're watching somebody and commenting on them, other people are watching you and commenting on you as well. So when you are there tearing somebody down, calling them a piece of shit, telling them that they're not good enough, telling them that they're a disgrace to the uniform, that they're a disgrace to the rank, that they need to get out, X, Y, and Z, you don't think that your junior Marine is not paying attention to you? So when he gets into a situation and he feels like, oh, fuck, I really need to talk to him, he ain't going to you because he just watched you tear him down. He just watched you tear him down. So if throughout this entire episode, man, like I think the biggest lesson that I learned last week, man, is that we got to pay attention to the example that we're setting. Are we setting a good example or are we setting just a example? Because at the end of the day, was Camel Talk wrong for failing that AFT? Hell yeah. Grateful and glad that he passed it. But we weren't any better by tearing them down.